Hello, hello, this is MrChabry, and we are facing a really interesting team. I think Mr. Whiskers would be a nice lead. There's actually no ground types, no electric immunity, so actually Zapdos might be better for a nice, powerful Volt Switch. Got Lapras here. Lapras not really doing the thing that I needed to do to be a Dracovish counter. We haven't seen a Dracovish. So it's like the game knows, man. It knows. Anyway. Let's see here. I like the idea. This thing's probably going to set up sticky webs, which unfortunately, I don't have a way of preventing. And honestly, it's probably got a sash, so even with this heat wave, oh, it's faster anyway. I don't have defog on the set, and that's one thing that I probably should get eventually is heat wave, or get a defogger, rapid spinner. Nice Volt Switch. Go ahead, probably take out the Gal. My opponent might try to save the Galvantula just because it is a pretty fast Pokemon. There's good charge. Alright, and now that I basically decide what Pokemon my opponent goes into based on what I go into. What? You know what, we'll get Lapras out here. I think Lapras needs some love. Alright. Unfortunately, sticky webs there for the rest of the game. Might end up being pretty critical. This might actually end up being very critical. Oh, you. Okay, so this thing probably does have Thunderbolt. So, Lapras, can you take a hit from this thing? From 40. Z. Possibly can. I'll throw a Surf. Like I said, this is actually intended for. Alright. Oof. This is actually intended for doubles. I'll throw an Ice Shard now. I mean, get a little bit of chip at least. Try attack. It might actually be locked into try attack. Might actually be locked into that. So time for some Gengar. You could go into Metagross. That would be really bad. But I'll go for a Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb still should be able to take it out, I think. Yes. Yes. The Dynamax for no reason. The Dynamax for no reason. That's my favorite Dynamax for my opponent. The one where the Dynamax happens and then gets undone. Here comes Metagross. This is actually pretty gross. I really don't like this. I do have a perfect counter for this thing. That's going to be Mr. Whiskers. This thing probably does have clear body, so the Intimidate probably won't matter. But I do have Dark typing and Fire typing working to undo this thing's Psychic Steel. Go for an Earthquake. Okay, playing it safe. Playing it safe. Let's see. Alright, let's go Rillaboom. So we can dampen that Earthquake damage. That's what I think we should do. Dampen the Earthquake damage. Hopefully we're able to get, yeah, a nice Swords Dance here. I think that's what I want to do, is get a Swords Dance. Or should I just knock off? Knock off still one-shots this thing. I don't want a Swords Dance and then let Ditto come in and reverse sweep me. I think a knockoff will be fine. If Ditto does come out, of course they're like, hey. Well, oh, that Eviolite that you kind of need? It's gone now, buddy. Of course still up. I think I have to hard switch into Mr. Whiskers, because very often these things love to Will-O-Wisp, and I do not like that. I do not want a Will-O-Wisp on my win condition. I feel like Rillaboom's going to become our win condition here. Got a Wisp happening. Okay, that's beautiful. That's wonderful. I get a little bit of health back. Quirrell's got good defense. That's one thing to keep in mind. Darkest Lariat. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. I still have a Dynamax I can do. Oh man, not quite. Strength Sap. Well, that's unfortunate. It's probably going to end up healing itself back to full. Yeah, of course. Of course it will. Well, wouldn't it? Alright, so we're going to U-turn out. Because there's actually a little I can do to this Corsola. There's little I can do to this thing. I could probably bring Nidoking in and put a little bit more damage out onto this thing. That's what I think we should do. Sticky webs are really hurting me. Alright, we're gonna throw an Earth Power. Yeah. Actually, what can you do? I'm throwing a Substitute. You get comfortable behind the sub. I'm going to be comfortable behind a sub. Alright, hopefully. Drink that. Boom! Called it. Called it. Let's Earth Power now. Let's throw an Earth Power at this little thing. that's a 2-hit KO. And I can just take it out with the next Earth Power. So we're in a good position. We're actually in a good position. Corsola is a Pokemon that can actually be pretty annoying. Has a lot of survivability. Especially if it's holding an Eviolite, then it's just like all this damage would have been even less. But luckily we were able to knock that off. It was still giving us trouble. That's just how bulky Corsola is. Alright, so Galar, Metagross. It would have been so nice to have that beautiful I don't have a good switch in. All I can do is Earth Power. Oh, I'm still faster? In what universe? This thing must not have any speed investments. It must not have any sort of speed investments. Alright, Ditto. Ditto's gonna be tough. I have to admit, Ditto's gonna be one of those tougher Pokemon for me to handle. And it's probably got a Scarf. So what are we gonna do? Okay, so we're gonna get hit with an Earth Power. Nothing we could really do about that. Hopefully this thing is locked into Earth Power, maybe? We'll go into Rillaboom, hoping that it is. Knowing that it might not be. But you know what? You gotta play it by ear. Grassy Glide does have a chance to knock this thing out. It actually has a really good chance to knock this out, so we're going for it. Alright, so you're going to withdraw, okay. Out comes Mimikyu, okay. Grassy Glide actually still has a chance to knock this thing out. So, there's no reason not to go for a Glide. Play rough, and we should take that very well. Shouldn't do... There we go, yeah. So you're going to withdraw Mimikyu. And going to Ditto, of course, who I'm going to have a tough time doing anything to. I would knock off, but if this thing is Scarfed, it's going to have to lock itself into something. Rillaboom versus Rillaboom. If I am able to get a Swords Dance, I'll be able to finish it off. And this thing has hardly anything it can do to me. Knockoff's not doing anything because I'm not holding anything anymore. So this is a mirror match that we are actually glad to have. Now we just Grassy Glide for the victory. And we'll just Grassy Glide this thing, I guess. Unfortunately, my opponent played that pretty well, giving himself a Swords Dance. If anything, I can intimidate with Incineroar. But yeah, this Ditto. If there's any hope for my opponent, it's this Ditto. Ooh, got the Grassy Surge going. Isn't that crazy how that worked out? Alright, Grassy Glide. Hopefully I live this. And I don't. But I can easily intimidate this thing now. With a nice Mr. Whiskers. A well-placed Mr. Whiskers. I'm going to Zap. I'm going to play this cautiously. We're going to try our best to, you know, intimidate this thing. And this thing's obviously Scarf. Alright, just Heat Wave here. Okay, now that it... Let's go back into Incineroar. I should be fine. Should be able to take a hit. And then, yeah. So we just Fire Blast. And that's what we're going to do, Fire Blast. Ah, you're out of moves now. Okay. And that is a nice victory. Nice victory. So, if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.